Yes, guys. Yes, guys. Welcome back to SFeatleyTV, and we're here for the back pages, your weekly transfer news update. Right, because I don't used to like to do it every day because it's boring, it's dull. Right, especially when you're an Arsenal fan as well, because you don't really care. So I'm trying not to talk too much for my own mental health. But we've got Maisie here, right, and she's probably buzzing because like Man United are actually doing something for once. Right. How are you?
I'm all well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not bad out intro to that one. But got a few comments already. Big up the Blues podcast. Big up Stephen. Hope you're well as always. Big up. Hi me,
Hey.
Mizzy. Big up Mel. Right. Big up all the members. Mel, Macy, Talk, King Tony, Connor. Yeah, talking about Connor and Bargab as well. And you can do the same. Hit the join button below. Big up, Maisie. Hope
Hey.
as well. Your hope all right, and big up Mel as well. So yeah, shall we start? We'll start with Man United because let's start with the good news, shall we?
The good news. What's the good news then?
Wow, apparently you're getting Varane, aren't you?
Yeah, it's supposed to be getting done this week, and I feel like this is more exciting than Sancho for me because it
Oh yeah.
literally felt like I needed like beer goggles on throughout last season watching Lindelof and Maguire play. That's literally how I felt. It literally felt like I had beer goggles on because after the first half of the season, I was thinking Maguire was making too many mistakes. And then I was like, I want Bailly to play. And then when Bailly plays and he got that 6-1 defeat against Spurs, I was like, oh, what am I don't even know what I'm feeling right now. And then when it comes to the second half of the season, Maguire was playing really well. And then you got Lindelof, who's weak to the point where a gust of wind will trip him over or something. It's just, I just couldn't even believe it. And I feel like this centre back, Varane, can make a whole lot of difference for our defence altogether, to be honest. So I'm more excited to see him in a United shirt than I am Sancho right now. And not many people will probably think that.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that because I think when I saw Man United during the season, when I did my own sort of football watch alongs, you saw, I think the Everton game I saw, easy mistake at the last minute where you should just see the game out. Just those little mistakes that cost you those points that you needed to keep up with Man City. So
Yeah, exactly. It's just them silly mistakes what's really cost us. Like altogether, we only had I think it was 4 or 5 defeats in the whole season. So that is not even that bad, really, considering where we was several years ago. And it was just about them silly mistakes. What we got as a draw, like Sheffield United, Everton, like you've mentioned, it was just them little silly mistakes because maybe the defender was a bit too weak to take on the attacker, or perhaps maybe we just made a rash tackle. It was just stupid mistakes like that.
yeah, I mean even in Europa League finals, a silly mistake again with the free kick as
The
well.
set piece, but
Yeah,
we got that set piece. Coach now, he's signed for Man United, and he's supposed to also coach United players on a one-to-one basis as well. So I'm quite excited to see on how well we can do with our set pieces now.
yeah, I think that would be interesting to see how it goes for the season.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say what else would you think Man United would need then just to make sure because we've got the big ones are you've got Man City still there that are thinking
Mm-hmm.
still think they'll probably be favourites.
Of course.
Chelsea have got a strong squad and a strong manager,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure they're going to be adding to it. I think they're still trying to hunt down Haaland. So
They got
where do you?
rejected numerous times, though, haven't they? So
Yeah, so for me, Haaland, I don't think he'll go this season. I think he might go next season, to be honest.
mm-hmm.
But where, where do you see sort of now with Manchester United? Do you feel that if there's anyone that's going to challenge Man City for next season, do you think you're more likely to be the team to do it?
100%. Especially if we get that defensive midfielder, we could be a trophy winning team, because I feel like that is the position more than anything where we're lacking, because Mick Fred together is dreadful. Like, you watch like Fred in international and you can see like, wow, he's actually not a bad player when he's not partnered with Scott McTominay. And then Scott, he plays as a centre back for Scotland, not a clue why, but he's not bad really, considering he's not playing in his preferred position. If, for example, we get that defensive midfielder, we can actually challenge for the Premier League. I feel like we can actually go far in terms of the smaller cups as well. We should be challenging at least for the smaller cups and to at least close that gap with Man City. For me, though, it'll be a bit like Chelsea, because we'll have that so many signings. We need to blend them well with the team and get that best starting 11, because you need to. It takes half a season to get that best starting 11, and you could really notice that once Tuchel came into Chelsea, couldn't you? Like, how well the team worked, and knowing that you could take some players out and put another one in, how well it's changed. Like Rudiger, for instance, how well the defence went when he came. So for me, it takes about half a season just to decide on, right, is this our best starting 11? Does this player go with this player? And then even if we've got Varane, it's like, do you think he'll go well with Maguire? I think he would. But then you think maybe he might work a lot better with another player. You just want to take a bit more of an experiment just to see on what can really happen. But for me, I feel like we'll challenge for the Premier League, but I don't think we'll win the Premier League. I think it'll just be a lot smaller gap. Like maybe about 3 points in it, 3, 4, 5 points maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that with the sort of signings you've made, and it's not so much like sort of maybe much the quality, it's more like the positions you've done it in. You've done it in the key areas and addressed the key areas where you need. If you look at other teams, it's more like, that's great, but is that the position you really need? I mean, it's like, I sit there when I see Arsenal buy a young left back as a backup, and I thought, that's great. Like Nuno Travers, that's great, but that's not what we need. We need someone who's in the centre midfield. We need someone to back up Tierney, absolutely, because Tierney's going to pick up his injuries, but we need someone next to Partey, especially if we've got rid of Xhaka, right? And everyone says we can't play on any. We need to have someone there next to Partey, and that's where we seem to be struggling at the minute. So it's not so much about. I think it's more about like the key areas that you fill in, and it's like you said. I think most squads you find these days is like, if you look at teams gone by that have won leagues, like you see they've got 4 or 5 positions where they're probably one of the best in their position, and then the rest of it is like they're great because they can work with those players together and make it as a team. So, and it's like you saw in the Euros, the teams that have got through to that stage of the tournament play well as a team. So it's not, say, maybe too much of a priority.
You could say that about Liverpool, couldn't you, from a couple of years ago when they won the Champions League and when they won the Premier League? Like, they had such amazing attackers, they had some good defenders, but they worked so well as a team, and that just helped them so much in winning the Champions League and winning the Premier League. And when you notice that they lost that key defender, Van Dijk, the whole team just crumbled for them couple of months, didn't you? And then they obviously had the injury for Fabinho, Gomez was one as well. They had quite a few injuries, and that really let them down as a team. But when they've got a whole squad together, because they work so well together, they were brilliant, and I really hate saying that.
Yeah, and I think it's also to do with the, not so much the signings as well, it's like what the signings you're doing in terms of the staff membership as well. Like you said, with the set piece coach as well. It's all having great talent, but if you haven't got a coach to coach the team and make it the team it is, you're going to struggle. So
Mhm.
yeah, things seem to be on a positive step with yeah, this seems to be in a positive step for Manchester United, but
100%.
obviously, like I think as we said before on the From United TV, like don't trust the Glazers for one sec though. Like they've probably got something up their sleeve to screw it all up. Like, knowing them, and knowing the Conkeys as well, so the Conkeys are just as bad. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm just getting more jealous by the minute, sure. I know. So, let's just go through the comments before I start seething. Um, yeah, big up, guys. Big up, Talk Man. You
Big up.
send you a link, mate. So you can like wax lyrical about how great you're doing and how shit we're doing. Big up the panel.
Big up.
Chat. I hear. Sorry, I hear even Arsenal are making signings this season. I know. I nearly fell. I nearly fell off the bed. Seriously. We're doing a Man United. Like,
Might get a last minute signing, like some youngster from Italy or something. You never know.
well, apparently, from what I'm hearing, I'll go into it in a bit, but apparently, it looks like we're going to miss out on Locatelli after all. So I might have to find someone else now. We've got Matt. How are you, bro?
Good, everybody. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm going to send Munsey the link, mate, because Munsey's asked about it. But yeah, I'm going to ask send the link. But yeah, Man United obviously getting Varane. They've got Sancho. They're looking at more targets as well. It's looking up for Man United with also the set piece coach as well. So, what do you make of it, Matt?
Let me turn the dimmer down there.
What are you doing that?
Sancho is a great deal, mate. Really is. I mean, it's not 100 million as you say. It's around about 68 million with add-ons. So I think around about 65, roughly 80 million. I think so it's not too bad. The Varane deal is amazing. That's the deal of the century. I think I think that you're getting a world class defender who's won the World Cup, who's won Champions League, who's won La Liga, who's won the Euros. Has he won the Euros for France? You should check that out. But
I'm not too sure if he's won the Euros with France. Can't think of when they have.
he's been in Madrid for 10 years, isn't he? Amazing. So he's very prolific. I think that's a very good signing. If we get Atletico Madrid, Kieran Trippier, that'll be another good signing because he's going to be a backup for both wing back places. We need the CDM though, Stephen. That's really important for the club to be contending for
You and me both.
Mhm.
We're both looking for it at the minute, aren't
You
we?
need a lot more. Ben White's a good signing though.
Yeah, I mean, Ben White's great. I think it's probably because of player tax. That's why it's 50 mil. I don't think Arsenal would have paid if it was another nationality. I don't think Arsenal would have paid being 50 million. I don't think they would have been that stupid.
You could have got Varane for cheaper, but because you're not in any European football, that does make a difference.
That's the problem. We've put ourselves in this situation where if we're gonna have to spend on money to get players in the situation we're in, we're gonna have to spend. So, yeah, I'll get to it just in a sec. I'll just go through the rest of these comments. It's a pity we're letting our youngsters from the past academy leave, like we did in the past, because we're not getting enough buyers for drink, water, and co. Finally managed to catch the stream. Sorry, ain't been here lately, Steve. Been busy working. No worries. Hi, Rich. Big up, Stephen and Macy. Big up, Munsey. Yeah, Munsey, I sent you the link, mate. So if you wanted to come on, because I know you just asked about it. 45 players on our books. Hope we can get some of the deadwood and make one big signing up top. Brought Tiho in. I'll just get to your set, mate. I didn't know about your comment being deleted, mate, but I'll get to that in a minute. Big up, Talk Food. Well done again, Dan. Cheers, and blah, 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 blah. We should get Trippier, Dunk, Neves, and Aouar. That's 90 mil all in. Well, I'll get to that. I'll ask for your opinion on
I'm not getting Trippier.
that. Send me the link. Yeah, I'll send you a link once we've gone through the Arsenal Man United news. Right, big up everyone. So yeah, a lot of people in tonight. Big up. So yeah, Tiho. Obviously Ben White, 50 mil. Probably more player tax than actual, like the fact that we're paying for quality. So good signing, not bad. Shit, like I'm already getting abuse
Well,
on Witcher Sports from someone about Ben White. And all I said was say hi last night, and he jumps down my throat. All right, go away. I don't even want to talk about it. Okay, I'm
The same
celebrating.
person who thinks international football and club football is a treble.
Just
no,
put it out
but
there.
it's
Big up
definitely
anyway.
It's definitely overpriced in my opinion. But he's a good player. He's young. He could do bits for us in the future. Overall, I think it's a good signing. Maybe if it was £20 million less, it would be way better. But it could be worth it in the long run.
And what about the Conga TX? We just announced the signing of the Conga, the 21 Belgian international.
Yeah.
I've looked at his numbers, and I believe he's a centre midfielder, and he's a decent enough player, to be honest. When I've looked at his numbers and looked at his stats, but I don't want to judge everything just on stats, by the way. But obviously, I ain't seen much of him, so that's the only thing I can go on. So, but he looks a decent player for Anderlecht. And could
Yeah. And he's
What
got
you
an
Matt,
call
what
up.
are you saying?
I have no idea who these players are. This is how bad at Arsenal have got. Like,
Shows how much you know the Dutch league, then, isn't it?
Belgium, Anderlecht.
Well, it's not like we're gonna go get freaking like Paul Pogba or something like that, is it? Like,
You've got Patrick
come
Vieira,
on.
Bergkamp. You got all the good Ajax players.
Hang on. Whoa, hold the phone. Hold the phone. Did anyone know who Lundberg and Pires were when they turned up? Does anyone know who
I'm talking about
Vieira was when he turned up? No,
No.
no, no. We didn't. So don't come at me
everybody
like
knew
that.
Dennis Bergkamp. Everybody knew Vieira was going to be a hit. Thierry Henry in the '98 World Cup. Like everyone knew he was going to be a hit. Like
Yeah, but everyone didn't know like all the others were, and they turned up. And then in the season later, they helped us win a double.
just like Ronaldo. But
Well, there you go. Because no one knew who Ronaldo was when he turned up.
how long ago has that been since you've had a player that you bought that you didn't know that was good?
Fabregas.
Xhaka.
Fuck off. Don't make me jump out the building. See, what you've done to me is you can't concentrate now. It's just
All right.
laughing their head off.
Van Persie. I'll give you Van Persie. But we did take him off here, so it's fine. He won.
Yeah, we made him who he is and then gave him to you. So it's a free present. Like,
Well,
be
thanks
nice.
for that, Persie. Really meant a lot.
Be nice. So yeah, I look. He's a young international. He's got time to develop. Right, let's see how he goes. Because I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be starting every game, especially when we know how Arteta is with youngsters. The thing is more.
I'm guessing that's something to do with who manages him right now. Vincent Kompany, right? He's at Anderlecht, isn't he? He's,
Yeah. So yeah, it's different.
if he's not happy, then you know you've got a good player.
Yeah, but
He's
it's
all right
like
with
Arsenal. We all know Arsenal are not going to get like well-known stars. It's a fact. And this is why, like, people saying, "Oh yeah, you should expect more because, like, then you should expect more than Ben White." Yes, I would love to get more than Ben White, but we ain't going to get more than Ben White because we're in the position we're in. So we need players that are going to get us into Europe. Then we can start focusing about it, right? Just because I accept Ben White does not mean I'm accepting where Arsenal are, right? It's.
I think he's a good signing, Steve. I know
I
Man
think
United,
he will.
Man United were looking at him, so you can't be that bad.
Okay.
Well, he has been. He's been looked at by a lot of clubs over Europe. It's not.
I was going to say if Man City were looking at him, then I was going to say yes,
They,
definitely.
they kind of were, but they don't like to spend out a lot, do they?
No, they don't.
Rich is right there. Because what I was going to say is the Arsenal players who Arsenal signed, they come in unknown and they come out unknown. So I think they should really aim less.
See, look, this is.
But what
your
about
new
medicine?
co-host.
What about Awa?
See this one over here, right? The new co-host over here. She's just going to come in to banter me all the time. See, like it's a permanent thing.
Because everybody wants a bit of banter. Like,
yeah, it all comes to banter me. You know what I mean? It's
Matt likes my banter.
100%, and it's factual banter as well, where you can actually like go, yes, it's true, but it's funny as well at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can't argue back either.
We're in this together, Steven.
What?
We're in this together.
We're
You
in this
trust the
together, yeah.
process. Our Arsenal
No,
fans
no,
stick together.
no.
Like, you trust the process and everything,
That's why-
don't you?
That's why Ticho's got Dennis Bergkamp as his main
Here's
thing.
also different, guys. You know,
Not
the
anybody
ritual,
else show.
you know the ritual I usually come up with trust the process. Unfortunately, if Macy says it, I can't do it. I'm screwed. Anyway, we should look at more other news actually, to be honest. But yeah. So you were saying about Chelsea just earlier with Haaland. Here's a question: do you think Chelsea will sign him? Do you think actually Haaland will leave?
No.
We'll get to Locatelli in a minute, but do you think Haaland will leave?
No.
No.
He might leave, but not to Chelsea, I think.
I'll send him the link and you see if he.
I was reading reports a couple of months ago. Haaland come out and said he don't even want to sign for Chelsea. So
Dortmund don't seem to be a selling club, right, Maisie? They don't like to sell their players too much. And if you look at it in the past as well,
they seem to get
they've sold one big player. They don't usually sell the second.
Yeah, they usually wait season after
100%. People tend to go for him when he's like half the price in his release clause next season. That's when like the Man City will go for him, probably will go for him because Cavani will be probably leaving. And Chelsea will probably go for him again, even though he's getting rejected so many times off them.
Yeah, it's getting to me, Tony. Don't worry about it.
I won't be surprised if a lot of big teams will actually snatch up Haaland next season while it's so low of price. But we just have to wait and see, to be honest, see who actually does get him. If I was going to say who would get him, I'd probably go for Man City in my eyes if it was a Premier League club, especially with his dad used to play for City as well. It makes me think he'll probably go to City out of everybody.
Yeah, that is a very good true point. So it's a shame actually for maybe Kane as well, because like I'm sure Kane, I would say, is probably looking for a leave. Kane wants to win trophies. In the end, he wants to win trophies. He's not going to get that at Spurs, so he's got to find somewhere else. And
Stephen, didn't they have to share their cup the other day?
Probably. The last time we played them.
Eric Dyer was holding it, wasn't it? I've seen a picture of Eric Dyer holding it.
It's a bit like the Community Shield, but yet some Arsenal fans count that as a trophy.
Probably the only up-to-date trophy you really have, apart from the FA Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, the FA Cup's not a bad thing, is it? It's not a bad thing.
It fills up the cabinet, doesn't it? I guess
it's better than nothing.
Better than an empty one.
It's better than the League Cup. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I don't know what Man City are thinking, trying to use that as a treble, but there you go. Yeah. So Locatelli looks like he's going to Juventus now, apparently. From what I'm hearing. Where is it? Yeah, I'll bring it up. It's because, the reason I say this is from The Guardian. I know you're saying it's from The Guardian, right? But Fabrizio Romano retweeted it, which is why I think it's quite relevant. He retweeted this. Juventus to look to beat Arsenal to signing of Italy's Manuel Locatelli. Though they've signed Lokonga and Ben White, they miss out on Locatelli. So don't tell me I'm not going to buy anyone else, and then we're going to end up using. We're going to probably end up using Lokonga. So that's probably what's going to happen. Actually, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised.
I love that Chris Paul's commented first. Go to sleep.
Transfer news never sleeps. Oh yeah, of course. Oh damn! I'm not even going to get into Hamilton before I start going on a rant. So
Apparently, AC Milan is.
I mean, what other options are there for Arsenal in terms of midfielders? Because we have looked at who's the Ruben Neves as well. We looked at him at one point. He's not a bad little player, right? But I mean, apart from him, Locatelli, there's not seems to be any more news about anyone else coming, from what I'm hearing. Aouar's not happening.
And I keep hearing about James Maddison as well, even though it's unrealistic.
80 million.
You know what?
The Arsenal
do you know what? I'm literally. I saw a YouTuber put a poster about new kits, and he's advertising new kits, and I'm like, "Are you mad? What are you doing?" He's like, I said, "I'm never buying it, never." He said, "Oh, even if we sign Maddison," I went, "No, mate. If you want the conkies out, you don't spend a penny."
How's buying a shirt when Maddison signs like a glorious thing? Like,
yeah, but I'm sorry. But what he doesn't understand is this is the problem with you fans, and this is why I probably have more respect for Man United fans probably than my own fan base, right? If you say you're gonna not spend any money on the club, you actually do it. We don't. We get to the next big sign and go, "Oh look, let's go buy the shirts." Right? I mean, you're not gonna buy Sancho's shirt, are you?
If we get, I've said this, Stephen. If we get a CDM, we get Sancho, we get Varane, then I might consider it.
That's considering it though, but that's not.
Yeah, no, that's as far as I go. Like, I will not buy the shirt.
What would you do?
No, if I'm a Glazers out, I'm not gonna be a bit of an hypocrite and say, "Oh, I want to buy the shirt. I want to buy a season ticket and everything." It's just funding the Glazers at the end of the
She
day.
was trying to buy me a fucking gift earlier.
In your dreams, let's just be real. I never bought you anything.
She bought your viewers, Stephen. She bought your viewers. That's all she.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. I
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Bought your viewers and publicity. That's it.
Yeah.
Can't get over that, can you?
What am I thinking? It's like I said, is that I don't care if you buy Madison. I couldn't care if you buy Mbappe, right? If you want the conkies out, stick by it. Don't buy the subscription to do a watch along. Don't buy the shirts. Don't buy this. Don't buy that. Don't do the rest of it. Don't.
Mm-hmm. Even if, for example, the men's team for Man United comes absolutely amazing and then the Glazers fund us so much, there's still the women's team who's getting treated appallingly and they need to be looked into and invested just as much. You don't even have facilities. They have to walk. It's like a 10-minute walk or something to go to the toilet, which is absolutely disgusting. There's all the players are leaving. We haven't even attempted to look for a manager in women's football. It's absolutely, honestly, I'm gobsmacked. And at this rate, I do not think there's going to be a women's United team in a couple of seasons' time. That's how I feel right now about the women's team.
They put a good show last season. They were really good last season.
United women only formed in 2018. The first season, the United women won the championship. So that's obviously like the championship for men, but women's version. And they won that in their first season, got through to the Super League, which is like our Premier League. And then it was literally like a couple of points off like championship this season. that's how much they've improved from 2018 farming to 2021, and it's the Glazers aren't even giving a flying crap about them. And I won't ever support the Glazers, and that alone, even without the men's team put into it,
Yeah.
that alone is enough to want them gone.
Talk. How are you, my friend?
Yes. Howdy, folks. How you doing?
We're not doing too bad this Monday evening.
Yes. I see you, Matt. I see you there in the corner.
Hey, Tommy.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, we just asked this earlier on, but thanks for the question. Maisie answered this earlier, but I'll ask Matt actually. What's your favourite signing? Well, who's the better? Oh, he said white Varane or white Varane, isn't it? Fucking up. Is that a question?
That's
Seriously?
not even a question, is it? Like,
The question I didn't want to ask, and actually Maisie asked it earlier, is who do you prefer out of the signings, Sancho or Varane? Matt.
oh, sorry, I thought you were asking Tom. Varane.
Talk.
That's a very difficult one because I don't know. I mean, if it comes off the Varane deal, I'll probably lean more in that direction. But I would still have a bit of my left side on the Sancho because they're both just as important. Really, to be fair, we're shoring up that defence and we're giving us a real great threat on that right hand side, man. So rivals next season, if you see Varane walking out on that pitch alongside Jadon Sancho and everybody else, you better start praying, folks. Better start praying. Simple, innit?
What was it? At Monsters, the line is it? Pray for the rivals.
Yeah, pray for rivals. Yeah, big up Monster, by the way.
I better say that to him now, innit? Pray for the rivals, innit, Monster? Because you ain't buying Haaland. You ain't getting nowhere, mate.
Whoa, he's gone for it. Oi.
Yeah. The Haaland deal is not going to happen because, and I tell you what, I was listening earlier on to Monster's stream and he was talking about the agent fees getting capped. The agent fees are getting capped next start of next season. So
Are they?
Mino Raiola needs to really, if he wants to line his pockets now,
he needs to get Pogba out.
He needs to get Pogba sold and he needs to get Haaland sold. But that's not gonna be a factor that the clubs are gonna consider. You know, if it doesn't suit Dortmund right now to sell Haaland, or if it don't suit United now to sell Pogba, then they're just gonna do it because they want to get Mino Raiola a load of money. Nah, you get 10% at the start at the next window, next season, the first window next season. So the summer window next season, he gets 10% of the fee that you get, what these players get sold for, which is still a load of dosh. I think Monster said it was like 7.5 million or something for brokering the deal on the phone.
Just a house, nothing big.
Is that not enough? Is that not enough?
It's more than enough.
There's a thing I wanted to talk about, and as you mentioned there about the women's team, is that another actual. You're looking at women's transfer news as well. Chelsea agree a transfer fee with Manchester United for the England striker Lauren James, set to join the champions Chelsea in a record deal between the two women's Super League sides. England forward has already undergone a medical at Chelsea and is discussing personal terms. And this, you say a record signing, the deal is only 200 grand compared to the mind-boggling figures we see in the Premier League. It's a very, very.
There's a reason why, though, isn't there? There is a reason why, because it isn't the standard. It isn't yet.
It's growing. It's not.
No, do you know what it? No, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Let me say this. If the revenue for the women's game was bigger in terms of the revenue coming in to the clubs from broadcasting rights, we would be talking, much higher transfer fees, wages, etc. Blah blah. I'm going to start using blah blah because when Monster says it, man, I just call it. I love it. So anyway, right, that's the thing with it. So at the moment, the women's game is pushed itself. To be fair to the ladies, they've done all the hard work, and it's I love watching the women's game. It's brilliant. It really is. It's brilliant, and I can't wait for the next big tournament. Is it the World Cup?
Yeah, it's
the Euros.
It's
Euros.
Yeah, it's the Euros and the first games at Old Trafford. England
Yeah,
women are playing at Old Trafford.
yeah. So I'm going to be
wicked.
watching that definitely.
I think also is that I mean I've always been tempted. If I was to watch an Arsenal game, it'd be a Arsenal men's game, and so much cheaper to be honest. And there actually is some success there. It's the only justifiable reason. But again, it's like it's going to conkies, and I don't want to spend any more money on the conkies.
Yeah.
But what I will say is like what's the revolutionary thing is that their games are now being shown live either on the player or on I think it's BBC. BBC are showing the games live, so
Yeah,
Don't forget-
BBC and BT.
Don't forget, right?
Yeah.
The ladies, right, have only just recently turned fully pro. Before that, they were not be able to do fully pro. So you are going to see now the standard, and you're seeing it now already. The standard improved massively, and it's going to go right up. You know, over the next like couple of years, it's going to keep going up, and that's when, for me, there's going to be a bigger audience. There's going to be bigger, sponsors. There's going to be some of the like Sky and BT are going to want to get involved.
Sky has bought some of the women's games already. I read it a couple of months ago that Sky has actually bought a couple of women's games, so we'll probably see a lot more of them in next season.
What I do worry about though is that I think that we're trying to change the men's game with the amount of money that's going through transfers and stuff. We want to sort of bring it back down to like a good level of like transfers, and I like the women's game, the fact that it is so small. No offense to them, but I think men should be on the same level as that, not the other way around, where everyone should 50, 60 minutes move.
The thing with that, Matt, is the men's game is gonna sort itself out, because as it stands at the moment, unless you've got like super rich owners, you know, like Chelsea and Manchester City, then it's unsustainable to try and challenge for the league, to the Premier League. That, because it's the greatest league in the world, that's the prize. The Champions League is, it's like the Champions League is like the show at the weekend at Broadway. You know what I mean? But Hollywood is the Premier League. You know, that's where all your big bucks come from, because it's where most of your revenue comes from. But what it's going to do is, in my opinion, it's going to balance itself out. There's going to come a point where the clubs are going to go, yeah, wait. We can't keep doing this, because the outlay is going to outdo the income. And when you get to that point, you've got a big problem on your hands, because if you go and outlay 350 million and you're only getting 175 or say 200 million in, and you don't even win the Premier League, and you only come third or maybe even fourth, you can't sustain that. So I think there's going to come a time where, and at the end of the day, let's have it right. Should it be up to FIFA really to step in here and teach them about, how to deal with your monies? No, this has to be done in a way that the clubs learn themselves, because otherwise, it's like when you say, if you say to your kids, oh look, don't do that, because you know what they're going to say. You're going to say, oh yeah, okay then. As soon as they go outside, they're going to do it. Then they come home and go, oh, we should have listened to you. And we all know you've got to learn from your own mistakes. Simple as that. So the same goes for the clubs. There will come a time where all the clubs then, the bigger clubs, because even Man United, don't forget, we ain't got stinking rich owners. We haven't. They're rich, but they ain't as rich as Chelsea and Manchester City and all them lot. No way. Or even Leicester. Leicester's owners are richer than ours. So there's gonna be a.
Well, our owners are just as rich, but they're just.
Your owners are the richest in the whole lot. What your owners, the Cronkays, right? And Josh Kroenke is married to the woman who owns Walmart, which is like trillions.
And basically, like the Walmart
oil money, in a sense. Like they are probably some of the richest people in English
on the
football.
planet.
Well over the Glazers by miles.
Oh yeah, and like you're buying Varane and Sancho.
That's what frustrates me, Stephen, with like how you feel. I don't know why they're not going, sod it, let's go out and buy some.
They don't care. They don't give a fuck. As long as they make a small profit, they couldn't give a fuck. Arsenal are not there even to make profit. Arsenal is there to float, right? So if anything fucks up in their businesses, in their Colorado Rapids, or the sim, or is it the was it the American football team he owns?
The Rams.
The Rams, right? If they fuck up, anything that goes bust, Arsenal are there as a debt-free asset to say, there you go, pay the insurance. It's like an insurance policy, right? So if anything fucks up, they can sell Arsenal straight away for however odd, and then go, here you go, right? Save their brands or whatever. They're not fussed. They're not fussed about Arsenal whether they make a. As long as they don't make a loss, they don't care. That's all they care about. So this is why when you buy players like us, like we do, right, we don't spend hardly anything at all. And this is why all the time they come out and say we only spend as much as we sell. We only do this, we only do that. They do anything which way to try and cover up the fact that all they do is sit there to float. And that is it.
Yeah,
They don't care where we finish. This is why I've said if we got relegated, right, and they still found a way, and they took the hit, and they still found a way to make a profit to recover the hit back, they would happily stay in the Championship.
But what I'll say is,
as long as they make money.
Because I know what some people will say about the money side of the game, and it's like, yeah, so you'll say, okay, the teams with all the big money, man, they're the ones who are just going to go and do this, that, and the other. But that's not how it works. It doesn't work like that. As we've seen with other clubs, money does not bring success. It's an advantage, that is all. You need great managers. You need great coaching. You need great culture and philosophy at the club. That's the basis for success. So
this is why this is why I said to you when they said about you kept saying, well, sorry, they can't let him fall anymore. Then Arteta's got to go. They can't let it fall anymore. And I kept saying to you, no, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care how far we fall. They don't care if we finish bottom half. As long as we sit there and have to make enough money to self-sustain, they don't care, right? That's all they care about. So they don't care if Arteta stays or goes. Arteta, they're more likely wanting to stay because he's like a yes man. He's like, yes, sir. Yeah, please, sir. I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, but hold on. One sec. How many players have you signed this window up to now?
2.
Okay, and there's rumours of more, isn't there?
There's rumours, but I don't believe it's all signed.
Well, yeah, but you'd have said that about the other.
Oh no, 3.
The first 2.
You've got Traves as well.
Okay, so there's 3. So he's brought 3 in. He's obviously now then clearing out the rubbish. Let's say he's clearing out the rubbish. Yeah.
Unless we actually pay them out their contract, we can't even do that. I don't even know if Xhaka's done yet. Is Xhaka done yet?
Yeah, but he's bringing in. He's bringing in. He's not going to be bringing in these players if he's not going to start them. So these players,
So when he's got rid of Edward, he's got rid of the youngsters. He's not got rid of El Neni. He's not got rid of Xhaka yet. Xhaka's not even gone yet. He's not even got rid of El Neni. He's not got rid of there's a few others I think that he hasn't got rid of.
For me,
and yet Varane hasn't gone. And yet you're selling all these youngsters. You're not even giving them a chance.
I know, but listen, no
doubt they'll come back in the cycle, and they'll end up in a Premier League club, and then they'll end up battering us on a winner.
You've got to say, you've got to get at this point, just to make life more easy and pleasant for yourself as an Arsenal fan, right? You've got to go, okay, listen, as I've said before, you've got to say, okay, go on then, Arteta, right? Prove you wrong. You've got 15 games. I will see. I'll reassess this at 15 games, and then you see where you are. And then halfway through the season, if you are in real trouble, then you reassess the club and the owners and look at what their actions are going to be. At this moment in time, you can't just keep like thinking, making up things that might be behind the door because you don't know. And being in that mindset all the time is not a good thing because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you you have to come out and say, make yourself a target for people to come back to you and go, blah blah blah, you was wrong in this, that, and the other, and you was just a hater or whatever. You've got to be positive in this because there's nothing you can do. It's like me with the Glazers at the club. We've had these owners now for a long time, right? I ain't not bought no merchandise. I ain't buying no merchandise while they're there. But I know, like, millions of fans will. So that's not going to work. Doesn't matter how many times you say. It doesn't matter how many times you go and stand outside the ground. out hold a flag and a bit of fucking fabric with some writing on it. Doesn't matter how many times you do that or by what numbers. The Glazers are businessmen. If I go and stand outside the fucking co-op and say, shut it down, right? And then 10, 20, 30, fucking 200 or 300, 1,000, 2,000 people, doesn't matter. They don't want to shut it down. They ain't going to shut it down. Simple. It's not the kind of business where you can force the owners out. You just can't.
But the thing is, as well, they can't. No, do you know why they can't as well? Is because they know, right? The Conkeys, the reason they can get away so much, unlike the Glaziers, probably the Glaziers can't get away with the Glaziers. Probably
Glazers.
Glazers are.
Glazers. They're not Windows.
Glazers.
They're not fucking sell Windows.
Whatever. I don't even give a fuck. Right?
Come
on. The Glazers. What I think the problem with them is that like they sort of realise they can't just sit and do nothing like the Conkeys can, because the Conkeys they can only do. They know they just have to buy one player, and that is all of a sudden that is it. Once the new kit comes out, once they bought one player, that's it. We all buy the kit. We're all stupid enough to buy the kit, right? Because they know they're that stupid. They know like that's why all the protests they weren't bothered one bloody bit, because they knew all we have to do is just make one signing, and this lot will just say Conkeys up, but we're buying a shirt.
Same with United.
And they know United. I bet if they go on YouTube, they can see fucking YouTubers, right? I'm sure they see YouTubers that are fucking putting out the posting on their pages, right? The picture of the new kit as an advertising thing, and I'm like, are you mad? What? And he's saying, what kit would you buy first? And I'm like, are you serious?
Stephen, let me say this. They know, they are businessmen. They know how the world works. They know how people's minds works. When you've got fan bases the size of Man United and Arsenal, right? You're never going to get enough percentage of people to make a difference in your finances by stopping buying the products. It's just not going to happen. So they don't give two fucks, mate. They don't give two shits. Simple as that.
Yeah. Arsenal actually bought Ben White from top club Bayern. Got to say it's a nice kit. I don't care if it's a nice kit or not. But
big up static, big up Anthony.
Matt looks like he's one of those like evil people in a dark room.
Honestly.
Yeah, what are you doing, Matt?
Froze. It froze.
Are you on your phone?
Completely.
Are you on your phone or something?
No, I'm just. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah,
it's all over the show, mate.
Yeah, it's all over the show, though.
Come back.
Arteta has already started putting the cones out for the training sessions. I hope so, but it's not happening yet.
Chris, what are you talking about?
So, I mean, how do you see it talk with Man United? The situation now is that I'm sure you'll probably get a DM at some point before the end of the transfer window. Then how do you see it then going into the season? We'll do a whole preview to the season anyway, but
it's a simple thing, isn't it? For the owners, if they see Ollie progress again, win a trophy, take it pretty close for the Premier League. If we miss out, we'll take it close. For them, that's progression, and they can see a constant rise in progression, which also feeds into the conversation with the sponsors. Look, you can see there's a progression here. We are building something stable. We are building something long term, right? We want long term success, not fucking one night stands. It's as simple as that. However, if Ollie, after spending all this dough, doesn't actually go out and get us a trophy or get anywhere near the title, then unfortunately, I think his time will be up. Simple.
I completely agree with you there, Talk. I feel like
I thought you were going to go with Grace.
even if we get all the transfers, I don't feel like we will win the Premier League because the team needs to gel.
Yeah, of course.
I
mean, course. I mean, every team has to. Well, I don't think it might take too long though. It's not like say with some clubs where they've bought 6 or 7 players at Chelsea, and then they've caused a problem because they've not been able to operate as a team properly and integrate as a team. But I think 1 or 2 or 3 signings, yeah, they'll take time to settle in, but I don't think that's going to do too much damage to that how the team plays already. And I think they should slot in pretty well, to be honest. That position on the right wing for Man United, we all know it's been crying out for Sancho for so long. And I think Maguire and Varane is just going to be a
nothing's
really
guaranteed though. Nothing's guaranteed. Nothing's guaranteed in this game. Football, it's just strange things can happen to you when you go to Old Trafford, mate. You know what I mean? It's a strange thing. It's a strange thing. Some people can handle it. Some people can't. You know, it's simple as that.
All right, we've got Chris. How are you, mate?
Hello there. I thought you'd want a top 6 club spokesman in.
Are you the top 6 representative, Chris?
I am.
Yeah,
yes.
You took Spurs. You took Spurs out of the equation, didn't you?
I managed to say that without fucking stumbling words up, man. I'm pretty impressed with myself. I should get a round of applause for that.
Yeah, the thing is, we're top 6, but in the UK, not in Europe.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So,
I mean,
have you made? Has Sancho signed yet?
Yes, he has signed yet. For fuck's sake,
has he?
Varane, right? They're done. For God's sake.
Thank fuck for that. Because Sky Sports talk about something else now.
Probably. Right. What's going on with Leicester transfer news now? Because I know you signed a couple of players already.
We have. We've signed 3.
We've signed now. 3. That's what Arsenal done now. So
yeah, we've got Daka up front, Samari midfield, and Ryan Bertrand as cover at left back. The funny thing is that everybody was saying when we missed out on top 4 for the second season running, that we would find it hard to attract players because we weren't in the Champions League. But we signed, and this is a serious point, we've actually signed Samari from Lille and Daka from Salzburg, both of whom were in the Champions League.
We managed to sign Partey in the Europa League, so it can be done.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying everybody was saying like we wouldn't get anybody because of the. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, I will just quickly bring up this as well.
I want Dan James from Man United.
But you also hang on. But you also need talks of Leicester's Edouard, someone that Arsenal will be looking at as well.
No, we've got Daka now.
Well, that's what they're looking at. So they could land Celtic striker Edouard for as little as £80 million this summer. The two clubs have held constructive talks about the French forward, although the deal is some distance away. So, does anyone see that happening, or do you think that's just going to be...
Is that today?
That was today, I believe.
Leicester City could land 30th.
Last dated... Oh, no, that was 8th of June. So, I don't know.
I'm going to say that's a little bit...
yeah, I'll go to latest transfer news.
Yeah.
Deal to sign NY, yes, done. Near intention, that's done. Messi.
It says Messi virtually agreed. I thought it said Maisie.
I thought it said Messi signed for Barcelona. That's news.
Kept that quiet.
I did. I didn't want all the publicity and everything, so I just thought keep myself.
Anyway, I'm your agent, Maisie, aren't I?
Of course you are. So how much agent fees do you want?
Oh, I'll take about. I'm happy with like about 7.5%.
Hold the phone here.
No. 7.5%. Yeah, and then the image rights will go. I'll take like
2%.
No, 3.
What image rights? You're not even on the camera.
3. No, for Maisie, I mean. Maisie's image rights. 3%. So that's like. All right, I'll go. Yeah, all right, then 2.5. We'll have some of that. All right, happy days. And a doner kebab with plenty of chili sauce near it. Yeah.
I'll throw in some chips for that.
You're
one for
cheap,
you as well.
Talk. You're cheap.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much to impress, so it's
Not the
okay.
budget.
How can you turn that down, Maisie?
Exactly. I've got like
You-
the world's best deal.
You were on the fence there until he got to the kebab, weren't you? That's what.
Yeah.
That's what did it
I'm,
for you.
I'm gutted now. I'm gutted.
Why?
Anyway, we've got two Man United fans on. Daniel James, is he all that?
Can I have him if you want?
Listen, Daniel James. He needs. Now we've got this new coach coming in. I think we need to see a part of his game. Is we need his hold up game improving. We know he can do the crossing. He's just got to learn how to hold the ball up and read the situation, what's in front of him better, and deal with it and make a better decision. Even if that means, he's got some luck, because a lot of time you can see him. He's got like backup coming up, So yeah, you're right there, Rich. He can lay it
We've
off.
never really replaced Mahrez, and I think it's either Berardi or James.
Right, I just want to quickly say this anyway, because obviously we talked about Barcelona's crisis. Barcelona forward agrees a contract extension with a 50% pay cut. So that basically means that's 600 grand rather than 1 million and 1.2 rather than 1.2 million a year, a week, which is what Messi's getting. It'll be about 600 grand.
Hold on. There's something not right here. There's something not right here. But let me tell you this. If you're Lionel Messi and you know that you could go to either Manchester City, the MLS, or China, or I don't know, probably maybe PSG.
Yeah, PSG will be one. Yeah.
Right. And you could earn probably more than what you're earning now at Barcelona. Why would you stay at Barcelona and take a wage cut, 50% wage cut? There's something not right. There's something fishy about all this. I think
it doesn't sound right, does it? I mean, it wasn't so long ago. He couldn't wait. He was trying to do his best to get out, and he was going on strike.
From what I was reading, there was going to be 5 players who was going to get the pay cut for Messi's wages. PK was one of them. Memphis has already agreed for a pay cut, and he's not even been here 2 minutes. And I can't remember who else it was.
Coutinho, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
And Griezmann.
I don't think I read Griezmann. I'm not too sure about Griezmann.
Yeah, but you can't sustain that.
But he's pretty terrible. The way
700 grand.
Has he been in touch?
No, he ain't got in touch with me yet. No.
I'll chase him up for you, mate. I can't obviously badger him, but I'll drop it in. Next time we chat, I'll just drop it into the conversation.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah.
I
tell you what, we were talking the other day, and out of the midfielders that we've got, there's 3, Tielemans, Ndidi, and Maddison. And if we had to let one of them go, I would let Maddison go.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Maddison, is he... You're asking me about Daniel James. Is Maddison really all that?
The problem is, I think he's absolutely brilliant in his own mind. The problem is he was injured. He's not come back fully fit. And I think a lot of players struggled last season because of all the football that was being played. And he came back. And he wasn't rushed back, but he just wasn't 100% fit. And he never quite looked the same as he did at the start. And sometimes, as much as you love a player, and I'd love him to stay, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you have to look at a player and go, is his time up? Is it time for him to move on? And I wouldn't want to lose Tielemans, obviously. The rumours are that he's been priced out of a move to Liverpool. I don't know how true that is. Indeed, I just can't see him leaving, to be honest with you. And it is just great for us. We're just not the same team when he's not playing. So if one of those had to go, because we've almost got a bloody team. Like Gareth Southgate took a team of right backs to the Euros. We've got a team of midfielders, and somebody's going to leave, and I have a feeling Chowdhury will go, and I have a feeling Madison might.
Yeah. There's no lady off. But anyway, before we wrap up, I should only mention this on an F1 stream, but no, I'm going to mention this anyway because A is an Arsenal fan as well. And I'm fuming. I'm fuming because it's my idol. Obviously, if you're an F1 fan, if you've been living under a rock, you know that there was the British Grand Prix yesterday, and the Hamilton's. Some people took a controversial win after his first lap incident at turn 9 with Max Verstappen, which took him out of the race. Hamilton went on to win the race, and unfortunately, last night, it seems that not just football can experience verbal racial abuse, but something I've not even seen in F1, but F1 can experience it as well. And he was subjected, and even today, when the Mercedes have put posts up today, there is still racist abuse appearing on the Instagram accounts of Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton. And it really, really, I mean, obviously it pisses me off every time it does happen, but when it's your idol and the guy you look up to and have watched since when you've been in hospital because it's the only person you can do, it really does hit really hard, and I'm fuming, absolutely fuming with it. And I'm just, this is just, I mean, when does this stop? Honestly, these companies are just, these social media companies just carry it on like it's not a care in the world. And I think probably they probably pick the one person to let this happen to. So I don't think Hamilton's going to take this line down, because the amount of work he does off circuit, the amount of work he does for diversity, inclusion, including more people into the sport. To experience this, he's not going to let these social companies get away with it, or anyone get away with it. So
I was listening today on Talk Sport. There's a guy on there who does the F1, and he was talking about this, and he said, because a lot of people are saying that, he put Verstappen at risk and could have killed him, blah blah blah. And it's like, I know this is what the guy said. He said, wait a minute, Verstappen has been bullying Hamilton for however long, right? And at the end of the day, you're going into this sport, and it's a dangerous sport anyway. But every time you get in that car, you put your life at risk. So whatever happened on that track was just pure sportsmanship. So it was, it's one of those things. It's just one of those things. It's sport,
people that don't understand what happened on that incident. And I know this is a football thing, but I want to mention this right now, right? Because it's really still winding me up. But people that don't understand F1, that don't understand it. These people, when they get into these cars, they commit themselves to it. That every time they go out on circuit, they have a risk of dying. Simple as that. No matter how safe the sport is, there is always a risk. Now, if you watch this frame by frame and watch it frame by frame, Hamilton is alongside him. If you're alongside a driver going into a corner, you have the right to space, right? You have a right to have a go. The only reason it made it look like as it did is because Hamilton backed off into the corner, trying to avoid the inevitable, because he knew he was at a tight angle. Verstappen, we've all known, is a very, very aggressive driver, right? All the way through the sport, there's been a number of instances where big drivers, well-named drivers, have lost their cool with him because of his aggressiveness. And I've always said, the way he carries on, it was going to happen. At some point, it was going to happen to him. He was going to take it too far. And all the way through the season, it happened at Imola, happened at Turn 1 in Barcelona. He was nowhere near alongside him in Barcelona, and he nearly took him out. And Hamilton this time, he said, if I want to win this championship, I've got to just not back down. And this time, he said, no, I'm not backing down. So you make the choice. You're either going to take me out, or take us both out, or you're going to start letting us have some space. And he decided, if you watch the steering angle, it's like that, and then Verstappen does this on the steering wheel to try and force the corner, knowing he's there. What's Hamilton supposed to do? Disappear?
Yeah, you're not going to just go away. Go on, then You let it go
Hamilton, past. Sorry, but in the end, Hamilton wasn't on the apex like he was against Leclerc. I get that, right? But they are not. It is not completely Hamilton's fault. He was turfily entitled to take that corner, the same as Verstappen, right? So I'm sorry, they are both. It's both a racing incident. They both have their part to blame.
So that's all it is, Stephen. It's a racing incident, and that's why you only got a 10-second penalty, because it's
it would have been.
But if they thought there was anything more sinister going on there, then surely it would have been more harsher, the penalty. But at the end of the day, it's a racing penalty. Well, I don't understand that part of it.
If
so
it's
I don't
a
know,
racing incident where both drivers are to blame, if it's both drivers to blame, it's a racing incident. If it's a racing incident, there's no penalty. Shouldn't be a penalty.
They interviewed one of the other owners at the time, didn't they?
And people saying as well, people having a go at Hamilton, sorry, that he was celebrating the way he did while Max Verstappen was in the hospital. Hang on, no one told him. He was only told by the radio, by the team, he was up and walking. He didn't tell them that he was in hospital and having checks in hospital, right? And people saying they don't believe it. Well, find me the proof that where the team telling him that he was. He wasn't told until he had the Sky Sports interview after he'd done all these celebrations.
Why let the facts get in the way of a good bit of sledging their way? You know,
it's just some people just can't accept the fact that Lewis.
No, it's just some people just don't understand Formula One. And I also know a particular channel that do their watch along as well. They've got such an agenda against Hamilton. It's very funny how you've not mentioned about this. You're all saying about, he should be banned for life, right? And you fight for racism, by the way, right? So you like to call some people racist when they're not, right? But you don't seem to mention this, do you? And you know who they are. You know exactly who they are. The same people we keep going on about.
It was nice to see Red Bull came out. They issued a statement supporting Lewis, and I thought that was nice.
Christian Horner himself, he was fuming for Hamilton when, right? And I don't think he should have been fuming, but there you go. He's passionate one eye. Even he came out and said, no, it's not acceptable. Every team came out and said it's not acceptable.
I mean, I watch Formula One, but I'm not saying that I actually understand it. But, they were saying that this has happened quite a few times, and Lewis Hamilton has always backed off to avoid an accident. But why does he have to? It's a racing. And I was actually watching, and I know I jokingly put it up at the end of your stream the other day, but, Schumacher and Damon Hill.
Yeah.
That
was totally...
Prost and Senna.
Yeah, it goes on. Yeah.
It should be banned for life for Hamilton. I'm sorry, Senna didn't deliver, he didn't get banned.
Bullshit. Listen, Lewis Hamilton is the GOAT end of, and he always will be until somebody breaks his record. Simple. You've got to accept it. If you can't, go and watch someone else. Go and watch Barbie. Go and watch Barbie and Ken on fucking Nickelodeon or something.
I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, I love Hamilton. He's British, and I'll always get behind British drivers. You obviously, admire him a lot, Steve. And everything. He's your hero. But
the reason is that still our right message. Getting back from the first.
But yeah, he's not. He's not. He doesn't seem to attract people's warmth the way other sportsmen do. But I don't care. He goes out, he does his job, and like I've said many, many times, nobody, when they do the job, whatever sport it is, should have to suffer this abuse after.
Simple. I mean, T-Ho, obviously...
hey, T-Cho, nice to see you again.
You're a Verstappen fan, watching the Grand Prix at the time. But I think even you said it was a racing incident in the end. We both argue about it.
I think it's more Verstappen's fault than Lewis's fault.
There you go.
But yeah, if you force it, then if you force somebody into a corner.
Verstappen put a tweet out saying, "Oh yeah, you should have been celebrating like that. It's unsportsmanlike." Well, he didn't actually know, but so get your facts right, Verstappen first, right? Even people on his Twitter page saying, "So no, come on, mate, you are too aggressive, right? You've had this coming, right?" So I'm sorry, but I had to bring that up because it's just really.
Let's have it right.
Really
Speed doesn't outdo skill. Simple enough.
But yeah, yeah. So anyway,
if anybody wants a free doner kebab with chili sauce, you got to just DM Maisie. We'll sort you out.
Yeah. DM me for free kebabs because he's now, so I have to deal with it. Kebabs.
Can I have extra salad on mine, please? Especially
of course
cabbage.
You can, and you can have some extra chili sauce. I'll make sure I'll get rid of the old yogurt sauce because I know you don't like that.
Nah, the yogurt sauce don't do it for me.
Can I have some garlic bread?
Yeah, garlic bread, Seho. Nice shout, mate.
Can I DM you about garlic bread in the microwave?
Let's not talk about garlic bread.
Oh yeah. Nino.
Garlic bread, and garlic.
Yeah, can you remember that, Chris?
Amazing. Did you start blaming for that?
That was your fault, Stephen.
Exactly, it was your fault.
As Kylie Minogue. No.
Come on, explain to everyone how I was on the other side of the country.
No. Wait. I'll say it. Kylie Minogue says it quite succinctly.
Come on.
Just gotta allocate blame somewhere, don't you? And
I'm on the other side of the country. How does this work?
A woman never lets that get in the way of blame, Stephen.
Hey!
Well, yeah, we'll leave that there, shall we?
Yes.
Anyway, make sure. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. But make sure to hit the like button and subscribe button as usual. I'm gonna shout everyone's socials. Chris, where can I find you?
Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube, at Leicester TID on Twitter, and catch the quiz shows we're doing over the next few weeks. We've got all the big teams coming on to just done Burnley. We're doing Tottenham on Wednesday in the big fat quiz of the week.
Wicked. T-Ho, where can I find you, man?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Player Database, and every stream here basically.
Wicked. And Talk, where can I find you?
Lad, they'll find thee at any local kebab shop. Looking around for bit of this, bit of that. Extra chili sauce. No, find me on Twitter. Find me on Twitter at iTalkMU. This channel, Man United.
Shut up, bitch!
See, don't interrupt me, please, or I'll slap him. I ain't scared of the Rock, man. The Rock don't scare me, man.
Garlicbread.com.
Yeah, garlicbread.com. Yeah, so as I was saying, find me on Stephen's channel. Find me on Man United Agenda, Rich Sports, Red United TV, Football United TV. Every now and again, Leicester Till I Die TV, and I can't wait for my next appearance, Chris.
Coming up soon, mate. Coming up soon.
Yes,
You're just a YouTube whore, aren't you?
I am a bit.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Turn up for the opening of an envelope.
He might own YouTube, but he doesn't own me.
You just turn up for the burning of garlic bread as well.
So Steve, let me just say this.
Guys, feel a bit embarrassed.
Let me just say this. Stephen is the boss of is his own boss. It's his channel. Nothing to do with me. I just help him out as like everybody else does to help the charity out, because he's a great lad, out of gold, and that's it. Simple.
We got
well said.
And, finally, our newest co-host and member, Maisie. Where can I find you?
Next to me, the queue at the kebab shop.
Next to any
you can find
microwave
me at
store.
your nearest kebab shop, getting talk kebab with some extra chili sauce. But you can also find me on Twitter, which is at 2_MUFC Maze.
Two.
Yeah, 2 underscores.
Two underscores.
Only put one underscore, so it's 2 underscores.
I tell you what, Amazing and Nippon between them turning all these into cookery shows.
Yeah, but I like that, Chris. I love it. I did tell you, didn't I, that I got, like, when last time Nippon was on.
Your food talk, of course you fucking love it.
I know. I actually saw inside Nippon's fridge, which was like a great moment.
Is that a euphemism for something?
No, it was a great moment. Honestly, it was great. It's a great moment. I've been waiting to see inside Nippon's fridge for so long, and I finally achieved it. It was quality. Yeah.
Wonder on our streams, the Talks Cookery Show.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Who'd eat from a fridge like this?
Yeah, me. Definitely me. Definitely me.
He actually messaged me, bless him. He messaged me the other day saying he wanted to come on my channel, and I said that's fine as long as you're not on a train or eating.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those. We should like get every sort of like YouTuber that we know in our community and just go fridge review of the week.
Yes, I'm having that. Oh no, now you're talking, mate. Now you're talking. Yeah, I'll have some of that, mate. Because I wonder what's inside Maisie's fridge. What have you got in your fridge right now, Maisie? Tell us.
I don't even know what's that one.
What are you laughing at? Not on this question.
I'm not even.
He killed me off, mate. Bloody kill me off. But honestly, talk. You've got to get some new chat up lines. You really have. Here, laugh. What you got inside your fridge, then, love?
Oh yeah, but come on. What have you got? Anything? Have you got any good goodies in there? Or what?
I don't know, you know.
Chris,
take the private chat. Take the private chat.
Yeah, I seen it, you cheeky beggar. Chris, have you got anything decent in your fridge, mate?
Hey, you'd be surprised what I keep in my fridge, mate.
Come on, then spill the beans, son. Let me know.
I've just seen the private chat.
Yes, he thinks it's funny, but yeah.
Honestly, that nearly killed me off. Then that did.
No good fun. I've got no cream. I've got no cream cakes in my
fridge.
I think Maisie's in shock. Maisie's in shock.
Yeah.
I'm in shock. It takes a bloody lot to shock me, I tell you. Jesus.
I'll be shocked. Oh, is that?
I've got a dicky heart, you know. You'll kill me.
Do you know what it is? Next time Maisie opens the fridge, I'm going to be in there and I'm going to say,
You're not.
You come here often. I'll pop out from behind
be serious trouble.
From behind the lettuce and say, you come here often. Yeah. Oh,
no,
dear.
you missed the part line there.
You'll be the cucumber, won't you, talk?
No. If you'd be a Chelsea fan, get a stick of celery.
I don't understand that.
You don't know what the song is?
No.
Chelsea
What's
song,
up?
celery.
No.
Oh, fuck, you
It wasn't me. She caught me looking in the fridge. It wasn't me.
Stop escalating it now, guys. Stop escalating it. I've got an individual one here. Stop escalating it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Cucumbers and fucking courgettes. Tomatoes. You finished it right there with the tomatoes. Are they plum tomatoes or the little baby ones?
Maisie, do you keep your mayo in the fridge, Maisie?
Of course.
Oh dear.
Can't believe I asked that.
Listen, we don't want to draw attention to Stephen's curtains and socks, so we'll leave it there.
Fuck off.
I don't know the story, but I do know what that is referring to. I had a friend whose mum used to complain about his curtains.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, no, shut up.
Not the beef ones.
No.
Salad
dressing.
I'd tell you what's in my fridge, but I'd get arrested.
Oh, go on, Tyho. What have you got in your fridge, Salmon?
No, mate, I'd get arrested if I tell you.
Oh,
Who
that sounds
wants to
sinister.
talk now? Let's talk about the cupboard.
I'm going to be honest with you
Oh,
now.
yeah.
If Maisie ever goes missing and I'm asked by the police, I'm going to put you up for it, Talk. It's like a scene out of Scream, the movie, isn't it? You know, where they slowly open the fridge. And
Yeah. No, the fridge will be your final destination. You know what I mean?
Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there. Man.
I suppose if you hand her the phone out of the fridge, it'd be a cold call.
I don't know whether to clip that bit or not. I don't know whether to clip that bit or not.
Yeah, that's Maisie. That's Maisie.
Yeah, I'd have to ask Maisie's permission for that one.
Have you got any chili sauce, Maisie? Have you got any chili sauce?
I'm not answering no more questions.
Oh, come on. Give me chili sauce.
Oh, Nippon would talk food with us. Talk food with us.
What would go wrong? Funny chili sauce. Sweet chili sauce, man. Boom.
Talk. Shut up. Shush. Cease talking.
But I need some food now. I'm starving, man.
Good.
What about for pudding? Nice bit of spotted dick.
Oh, hey.
Right, Talk. Nice bit of spotted dick with a bit of custard on.
You know what? It's funny to say. I've got some Mr. Kipling's. I've got some of Mr. Kipling's apple and blue and whatever, them little tart things, and I've got a pot of custard. I might just have some of that. So.
See what you've done? You've escalated it.
I used to like that, but I got some cream and it cleared up.
It's already on here, for fuck's sake. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. Make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
5 times you've said that.
Yeah.
I know. This is what I'm trying to end it. Unfortunately for him, right? He's going to keep his mouth shut for 5 minutes. Right?
Mind you, sandwich spread isn't all that, is it?
Shut the fuck up.
I'm getting
what about Toad in the Hole, Talk? Do you like a bit of Toad in the Hole?
Toad in the hole is laughing, mate. Yeah, I love that. Happy days.
Oh, honestly, come home at night and the missus has got you Toad in the hole. It's like
I'm not even looking at none of yous anymore. I'm not looking.
Toad in the hole with gravy. Plenty of gravy on it. Maisie, you like gravy though?
I love a bit of gravy, but not in this incident. I don't want gravy.
I'm not guilty.
Talking of that, we're leaving it as it is. Make sure to like
I'm hungry now.
No, shush. Right?
Anybody? I fancy a roast.
If you want to join the madness and become a member of the madness, join the membership. Right, it's down below.
One step beyond.
Shut the fuck up. Right. Loads of exclusive
baggy trousers.
So loads of exclusive perks. Make sure you do that. And yeah, we're back tomorrow with the Liver Awareness Show. I've still got to find a topic for that. Shit. Liver Awareness Show.
I've got a topic for that actually. I've got a topic.
No, shut up. Not in anymore.
No. Cuckoo's a nest. Cuckoo's a nest.
Right.
What's your favourite takeaway, Talk?
Off air. We're talking about off air. Right. Make sure to do that. We're back at the Liver Awareness Show and the ref review tomorrow. Until then, take care.
I'm partial to a bit of Chinese.